Yep. Okay. Kind of strange to have this press conference at this point in time. Everything's still in progress right now with the signing day, and it'll continue for the next 2 days. So in the future, it might make more sense to have this on Monday after the first signing period is complete. But to this point, we feel really good, obviously, about our class. There's still some things that we expect to happen the next couple of days, and that'll just add to what we got going already. The overriding theme in this class is defense. We were down in defensive numbers last year, scholarship numbers, so there's going to be a pretty decent imbalance of defense to offensive guys this year to try to catch up. But we feel, again, like we're getting some pretty good players added to our roster. Had an excellent year in state. We think when all is said and done, we're going to come away with 5 of the top 6 players in the state of Utah, which is huge. I mean, I think that's the first time that's happened for a lot of years. Some return missionaries, 5 return missionaries that we signed 2 years ago, will join us at either mid-year, next month, or in the fall. Had a nice in-state production overall. There'll be 9 new scholarship players in the state of Utah on our roster this fall. That would be the ones that we signed this year, and then the return missionaries. That's a total of 9 additions from the state of Utah, which is a big number, which is good. I mean, the football in the state is getting better every year. We also had Texas, Hawaii, California, the usual places that we've been for a lot of years. But overall, we feel good about what's transpired so far. But again, we got 2.5 more days in this first signing period, and then it'll shut down. And then the second one, obviously, in February. We think when this one is over in a couple days here, we're only going to have 2, maybe 3 max left to give, and maybe only 1. We'll see how things shake out. But and that's not a bad thing either, because then you can kind of regroup and continue to check the transfer portal and just continue to look for the right guys to add. So questions?
Kyle, what's changed maybe in your coaching staff recruiting-wise that has been able to get these top recruits in the state, or what is that?
Winning, being in the Pac-12, just our brand growing. I think we believe our brand is growing. We're going to finish up this year with a good ranking. We'll see what happens in the bowl game, but going to the Pac-12 championship game the last 2 years. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for it, but being in the Pac-12 in a Power 5 conference, and being a team that has been on the national forefront in the college football playoff rankings, towards the last part of the year. I mean, all that adds up to more positive stuff for your recruiting.
Kyle, I understand the first letter you got today was from Jake Bentley. I wonder if you could just talk about getting Jake and what that means to have an experienced quarterback in the stable when you're losing Tyler.
Yeah, Jake is a big addition for us, and in today's world, with the portal and how things are changing, the quarterback rooms can change dramatically from year to year. That's the position that undergoes the most change, and we're excited to have Jake in the room. He's got a big arm, more of a pro style guy. Played in the SEC, put up 500 yards in one game against Clemson, which is a pretty good accomplishment. Clemson's obviously an outstanding football team. Coach Ludwig had a chance to watch him up close and in person while he was at Vanderbilt, and really loved him, and was really high on him. And so when he became available, we went to work on it, and came out on a visit, loved it, and committed on the visit. And we're excited that he's going to be joining us. Cam Rising will be in the room, and he's going to be eligible for the bowl game, as you guys already are aware. And then we're hoping we get Drew Lisk back. He'll be graduating in May, but he may come back. He may just go on with his with his life, but we're not sure about that. And then Jason Shelley, and there's a good chance that Jason Shelley can play in the secondary for us in the future. That's still being talked about.
You mentioned that defense is kind of the theme so far. Not only that, but maybe immediate impact guys. How important is it to get guys who can push for reps, or at least maybe make an immediate impact with all the guys leaving for the next level?
It's great, and we're excited about a lot of those guys on defense that we've got so far, and we hope to get a couple more this week. The biggest deficiencies, corner. We're taking a big hit at corner. We lose virtually almost every snap that the guys have played at corner this year with Josh Nurse, Jalen Johnson, and Tariq Lewis. There were some guys that got some end of game reps, but as far as the meaningful reps, those three guys took pretty much every snap, and then Julian and Terrell. So that secondary is going to have a complete overhaul. Linebackers, we were thin this year. Fortunately, Francis and Devin were able to stay healthy all year, so that depth never became a factor or lack thereof. But so we're going to add to that. And front is probably where we have the most depth. That seems to be year in and year out a place where we have a whole stable of guys. And this year is no different. But we've added some really good players. Van Fillinger from the in-state or Corner Canyon in-state here was a huge addition for us as well. And we think we're in a good place.
So you've had multiple quarterbacks here recently that have been transfers. When it comes to that, is it understood that, hey, you come in and almost at any point we may add other guys to the quarterback stable? So, yeah, we want you, but we're probably going to have other guys, so there's going to be competition ongoing?
Yeah, we have a master plan for quarterback from year to year, and like I said, with the transfer portal, that could change. But we do once the dust is settled, then we know exactly what we need to get for the room for the next, the ensuing season, and we're completely upfront with the quarterbacks. If we're going to take two, then we tell all the guys we're recruiting we're going to take two, and if we're going to take one, then we indicate that as well. And so yeah, if there's a situation where we're going to take multiple quarterbacks, we'll let the guys know that we're recruiting that, hey, we're going to take two, just so you know right up front.
Kyle, if I've done my math right, you're about 17 guys right now. How many more, as long as everything goes your way, how many more do you think you'll sign?
17. Are you counting the return missionaries? There's 5 of those guys. Are you counting the 5 return missionaries and the guys that are already in the program that were awarded scholarships, Nephi Sewell and some of those? Well, to answer your question, we'll use all 25 initials, but some have already been utilized with players that are already here. We'll add. There is no JC players in the mix this year. It's all high school or grad transfers or undergrad transfers. We will, like I said, get to 25 after this week. We may have, I think 3 would be the absolute high number that we'll have left, and 1 or 0 would be the low number. But again, the next 48 hours, we'll see how things play out.
For the 2020 Utah prep players on your list officially right now, can you just go down each of them and give a comment?
Can I put my glasses on? Okay. All right. In-state guys. Start with Alex Harrison. We're just going here. I'm not sure what particular order we got it here, but Alex Harrison, big, strong, physical offensive lineman, had great offers. Pretty much everyone in the Pac-12 wanted him, amongst other schools in the country. Played both ways in high school. We're going to use him exclusively on the offensive line, but like I said, he played every rep for his team up in Bountiful, and so we think he's a guy. He's ready-made. He's 6'4", 330 plus pounds. Big, strong kid that is ready to show what he can do right away. Sione Fotu, linebacker from Bingham High School, tough kid. He's got great range. He's not the biggest guy, 6 feet, 220 pounds, but he's physical and very instinctive, and was very productive for Bingham this year. 90 tackles, couple picks. So he's got a lot of upside. Van Fillinger, I already talked about. Corner Canyon, another national recruit, could have gone, pretty much pick his spot. He was committed to another school for a period of time, and when that you didn't feel right about that, we were right there to try to get him here to Utah, and he fell in love with us the last part of the recruiting period. Jaron Kump, returning off a mission from Harriman. This was a couple years ago. We think he's a prototypical offensive tackle, 6'6", about 270 right now. When he gets back, we'll put weight on him, but he's got a huge frame and that great length that you look for in your offensive tackles in particular. Out of state. Nate Ritchie, big get for us. With our safety situation, Nate is going to fill an immediate need. Another guy with multiple Pac-12 offers as well as other offers around the country, and he's got size. He's already 6'2", 210 pounds, and runs very well, and is a guy that like I said, fills an immediate need. The missionaries, we got 2 more Putu Taus, Tennessee and Taniela. They'll both be on the defensive line, at least initially. Taniela was an excellent tight end in high school as well. We may take a look at him there. Hunter Lotolale, another one of the Lotolales, he's star and Lowell's cousin, back off a mission. Big, strong offensive lineman, 6'3", about 310 pounds, and very, very agile. Let's see, I think that's it for right now. We're looking to get another one or two in-state guys, hopefully, the next little bit.
Kyle, other than Nephi, who are some of the, do you know off the top of your head the other scholarships of the 25 that you've awarded?
Bobby,
Is
help
there
me out
two or
here.
three or?
None that are initials.
Okay, none that are initials. Yeah, none that are initials. There you go. I should have my other roster here too. The overall. I just thought we were going to talk about the new guys, but get with me after. We'll have a little secret meeting. Okay. Okay.
Other than obviously losing a senior quarterback this year, is there anything else about the next year's roster that made it vital to bring in a grad transfer quarterback for the sake of the rest of the team?
Well, you don't want to be caught with your pants down at QB. I mean, that's the last position you want to be in that situation. And Jake is a proven commodity that adds to the room. And like I said, with Jay Shelley, most likely going to be moved to the defensive side of the ball, and Drew Lisk maybe going the way of the world and just going out into the private sector, I guess you would call it, public sector, whatever it is. But that necessitated us to get a guy with some experience, and so that was the reason for that, and we think that really bolstered us. And we'll see. We'll probably add another quarterback in some way, shape, or form before fall camp starts.
Rare to have three safeties in one recruiting class, and if so, how do those guys come in? And I mean, are they going to factor in its different positions, safety positions, or do you anticipate them maybe switching positions when they get here?
No, we don't anticipate them switching positions at all. It is a little bit atypical bringing three. Usually it's one or two. Two is the typical number. I think it's 7 is the number that we operate on with safety. So if you lose one or two a year, you kind of like to stagger them. But we took a big hit this year with those two seniors, and we were already thin there. We had already had some attrition and lost a guy or two. So that was the reason for taking 3. But I talked about Nate Kamoi from Hawaii is a hitter. He's a guy that had a lot of good offers as well, and so it's going to be good competition there at safety this spring actually, for some of them.
Are you all set at linebacker? Are you still looking to add linebackers? Are you going to move guys who are on the roster inside, or how does that shape up?
That is, are we all set right this minute? No. We hope to add another 1 or 2 to this class. Nephi Sewell is a guy that can play either safety or linebacker. He's right on that verge. He's about 215 pounds. Does he drop a little weight and stay at safety, or add a few pounds and go to linebacker? And so that could factor into the decision on how many more to bring in. But if we don't get who we're hoping to get in the next little while, this next couple of days, then that would start the linebacker hunt again for at least one more. Yeah.
Kyle, can you talk about Ty Jordan? He's not a very big guy, but he's obviously in demand. And is he a Britton Covey type, or what kind of player?
No, he's more running back, where Britton Covey's more slot receiver, but he is fast. He's a 10.5, 100-meter guy. He's thick. He's not very tall, but he's put together real well. He's about 190 pounds. And you're right, he had a lot of offers and was very sought after. And he's a guy that we think is going to be very dynamic in this system. Andy will put him to work right away.
I'm going to try to phrase this correctly.
Uh-oh. Hang on to your hats, everybody.
Seeing so many in-state guys leave in recent years, did you, I don't want to say take it personally, but did it put a chip on your shoulder to kind of maybe get back into the fold of being, one of the top schools for kids in-state to make a decision on?
We have always placed the highest priority on the in-state athlete. That's our starting point. Every recruiting class starts with making sure that we properly evaluate everybody inside the boundaries of our state. We do the best we can of keeping those guys home. Like I said, we're going to keep 5 of the top 6, at least 5 of who we deem the 5 of the top 6 players in the state at home. And so it's always a priority. It's always a great effort on our part to make that happen. Doesn't always happen. There's 2 teams in the conference. Last year, of the top 15 teams in their state, they got 1 of them. And so it's not, nobody puts a fence around their state and gets everyone. Nobody. I don't care who you are at any level. And so we do the best we can. It's not like we thought, well, we're not working hard enough in state. Let's work extra hard this year. We always do as much work as we can in state, and be thorough and evaluate thoroughly, and just hope that we can get our fair share. And this year, like I said, we feel really good about that.
The transfer portal is really popular for quarterbacks, but can you help yourself at other positions there? Is this trending some way where it'll be a 50-50 split with quarterbacks and other positions down the road?
It could be, but 50-50 means the 21 spots for 50% of it and one spot for the other half. But you're right, quarterback is the most volatile position, and the place that kids seem to become the most impatient and want to get to a place where they can play right away. And so that, to me, and you look at what happened with Joe Burrow and Ohio State's quarterback, and I mean all the things that happened, and Ohio State turned away a Heisman Trophy winner, I guess, or didn't, wasn't going to start him. I don't know exactly how it went down, but the guy wins the Heisman. So, anyways, it is the premier position for the portal as far as the visibility and what the movement that happens. And you can certainly help yourself, or you can get hurt by it if you have the wrong guys leave your program. Does that answer your question? Kind of, sort of.
Was Andy the contact point for Bentley then?
Yeah, once Bentley went in the portal, once Jake went in the portal and declared himself, I guess you could term it a free agent, and was looking for a spot, then Andy was the one that took that over. 2 reasons. SEC, he's familiar with that. He's the quarterback coach. And it just made sense for him to be the lead recruiter on Jake.
Is the situation with junior colleges, is that kind of a one-off, or is that the way that recruiting's trending when you're in the Pac-12?
Yeah, it's been diminished, and we're not taking one junior college guy this year. It's all high school or transfers. I think I said that earlier. And it's nothing, we still think there's a place for the JC transfer. And back in the day, not too long ago, we had maybe 5 or 6 JC kids pretty much every year in our class. But the transfer portal has supplanted some of those JC guys, and we're just getting more high school guys than we used to because we're in more doors, like I said, and our brand is stronger, which is allowing us to get more involved with high school at a higher percentage of signees. Okay, guys, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Jerk, if you want that question answered, I can go back to my office. The guys that are already being counted, besides me 5, pretty sure there's 1 or 2 more.